Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Hey Sister. Hey Sister, how you doing?
Hey, sister, I'm doing well. Just realize every time I remember to do one thing, I forget to do something else. So my alarm is going off over there. And yeah,
Okay. And we can see you have all the Oscars behind you. So tonight is Oscars 2020. So who you got for the Oscars 2022?
well,
I said, didn't you just hear
you
me say
said
2020?
2020. Yes, I did.
Girl, Jesus be offense. 2022. And it looks like the Williams sisters on the screen right now.
That is the Williams sister. Okay, all right. Everybody, this is the
Everybody is
breasts showing tonight. I saw Tracy Ellis Ross just earlier.
snatched.
Man, so much flesh is being shown.
Snatched
But
for the gods. Hey, honey, do your thing. Well, if you out there watching tonight, we want you to like, follow, and share, subscribe. We also want you to join the conversation in the comments tonight. We are going to have somewhat of an abbreviated episode because we know that you all are watching the Oscars tonight. And the title of tonight's episode is I'm Sorry, Miss Jackson. Because really, what we want to talk about mostly is the SCOTUS confirmation hearings and what we saw go down. So, if you're watching tonight, tell us where you're watching from, who's out there, and then, toss it back to you, sister. Who do you have for the Oscars tonight?
well, like I said, I mean, it's so many. I'm conflicted in all the categories. Like I said, for best I mean, I'm looking at the actual categories. So, actor in a lead role, Will or Denzel, but Javier Bardem might get it. Of course, Benedict Cumberbatch and Andrew Garfield are both folks who feel like they would get it as well.
Mhm.
Actor in a supporting role, I'm not seeing anybody that I just remember a whole bunch about. Actress in a lead role, also I started watching Being the Ricardos. I didn't do a good job of continuing that. So, but you might like Jessica Chastain for The Eyes of Tammy Faye.
Girl, now listen. Woo! I will say this. Jessica Chastain, really, you might want to go get that alarm back there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
I was wondering if you was
yeah.
okay. Hold on.
Listen, if y'all haven't watched The Eyes of Tammy Faye, it's on HBO Max. You can most definitely find that she does a phenomenal job of really transforming into Tammy Faye Baker and elevating the I mean, she just takes acting to a whole nother level because she really does embody it. Oh, I see Arnetta is not watching the Oscars. Should you be, girl? You do what you want to do. What moves your spirit tonight? You can find out who wins tomorrow. I've seen several of the movies that are nominated.
Mhm.
I have not seen them all. I know Coda, which is an Apple TV movie, which I watched months and months ago because it's been out a while. It's one of those Apple TV Plus movies, and I loved it. It's a coming of age story, and I didn't know what Coda stood for, but it's a child of
A
uh,
deaf adult,
deaf
children
adult
of deaf adults.
adults, yes. And it was just a phenomenal movie, just absolutely phenomenal. So, um, hey, but you know,
Well, I was saying for the best supporting actress, of course, I'm torn. Of course, Ariana DeBose would make history as the second Latin woman, Latinx, what have you, woman to win that award following Rita. Why am I blanking on her name? Like I literally just said her name, Rita Moreno,
yes,
but for the same exact role, which is kind of cool. But then, of course, Anjanou Ellis, HBCU grad,
come through,
sis been doing her,
Tougaloo.
yeah, sis been doing her thing for a while. So, I'm torn there. And then of course what I'm most waiting for is the documentary category, feature documentary. And
Mhm.
so I
I
know
guess that's Beyonce opening the show back there,
yeah,
huh?
it is Yance with the song, because she's up for best song. Well, let me see the exact title of that. Um,
Well,
Original song "Be Alive" from King Richard. Music and lyric by Dixon and Beyonce Knowles Carter.
all right. Well,
But
we
then
dropped the
if she
link in
wins,
there.
that'll be great for her. But then also Lin Manuel Miranda's up, and technic if he wins, he becomes an EGOT. So see, I'm all because I mean, of course, you want him to become an EGOT. It's so much.
You know what? It ain't that much, child. Listen, whatever happens, happen. What's gonna be, and what's for you is for you. I definitely believe that, and I know that sometimes timing is divine, and we definitely can't go on our own timing. It is on the Lord's timing, and that is a perfect transition into the SCOTUS confirmation hearings. Okay, because what God has for you is for you, sister. Did you go on down to the Congress and take in some of these confirmation hearings this past week?
I did. I watched some of it. I didn't watch all 3 days, but I caught enough to be sufficiently angry. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay, so as I told y'all, our title for tonight is going to be, oh gosh, we got DJ Khaled up there. All
Yeah,
right.
it's so much happening, but I'm paying attention, sister. I'm like, I know Will Packer said he was doing things differently, but what?
It's gonna be real different.
Real,
Um,
they're gonna be like this, and this gonna be one of them black, and they be like, it's gonna be like the Super Bowl. They're gonna be like, we ain't invite y'all no more.
I just want to say this on behalf of all the sisters out there who have fought the good fight, who have, in the words of Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, who have persevered. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson.
Yeah.
Sister, we are sorry that you still have to persevere and endure what you endured, which all of us endure on a regular basis, and we just sorry about it because it's exhausting, it's condescending, and it's really shameful.
So let's play a game here.
Okay,
Let's play a game
what's the game we gonna play?
because I doubt that either one of us is ever gonna be president of the United States or Supreme Court justice, or I mean,
Don't be blocking my blessing. I don't know what you're talking about.
oh, I didn't think that it necessarily was a blessing. Or okay, so you might have higher political aspirations. At this point, I don't know that I do because I really, I have tried to do really well in life, and I've made some stumbles along the way, and I just am not interested in people trying to dig up all the dirt on me in the way that they do. Let's play the game of how would we have loved it if Sister Katanji could have answered the questions the way we wanted her to answer. And the reason I say this is because I thought about the woman question, right? I didn't hear the woman question, but I've heard about the question about defining a woman. So if you were
Can you
Katanji,
define? How do you define woman?
and if you were Katanji, Miss Jackson, if you're nasty, how would you have responded to Marsha in that moment?
You know what? I actually liked her response because it was kind of like, Senator, no, I can't. I mean, I'm not a biologist, and no, I can't. I'm not a biologist. It is not for me to define. it does not, my definition does not have anything to do with how I might a case that's before me and what's being argued before me, because I don't think anybody's coming presenting Merriam Webster's dictionary definitions before the Supreme Court.
Mm. Okay. Okay. And I don't know exactly what she said. I just know that there are those who are making this deal out of, oh, she can't even define woman. Now, my thing is, of I'm sure she can define woman, right? If she wanted to go down the road of, you know, X and Y chromosomes and things of that nature. I'm sure she could have taken that route if she wanted to. But what I found more peculiar than anything is, first of all, woman is one of those words where you're like, I don't know. I never really thought about how to define woman. Just like I don't think about how to define man. And but I guess for me, I really wish she could have been able to say, well, before I give what I believe to be the definition, I would like to understand better, why are you asking for the definition? Because I presume that you are a woman, so therefore you know what a woman is. Because it's like, what did y'all really want her to say? That's where I want to get, like, what was the intent behind the question? Because there was not going to be a right answer for them.
Yeah. The intent was to get her on record as it relates to trans rights.
Exactly. And so there was no right answer, because if she had defined it from, if she had said, yeah, it's a person who's born with certain biological what have you, and it would have been an at birth thing, then yes, she would have had a segment of population that was just found that to be egregious. If she had said, well, no, one can identify as a woman, then you would have had this whole other segment of the population. Yep. You can't identify as a woman. You just either, but you know, and I guess this is why people like Bruce Jenner just drive me nuts, because I'm like, these are the people that you rocks with. Meanwhile, you get to be Woman of the Year. And I'm so confused. So I just guess, and I knew that's why, but I just really wish she could have been able to be like, girl, what you really trying to do is you really trying to put me in a position such that the LGBTQ plus community can then have some ill effects, or there be some ill impact to the LGBTQ plus community as a result of me sitting here today and defining this. And that is unfortunate that that's where we are, you know, that we're playing these games with each other. So, yeah, that was one of the play. But you're right. Yep. Now that she played the game, and she did. But there were definitely times of the long pauses, the pregnant pauses, and the deep sighs that were very, for me, reminiscent of my days in graduate school, where you felt like you're carrying the weight of all womankind and all blackness on your shoulders every time you answer a question. Because when if you were speak with colloquialisms and slang, then you are deemed unintelligent
or unprofessional.
How
dare she have those locks while we while the House just passed the Crown Act? I mean, how dare she come into the Senate with those locks and her white husband?
And how dare she shed tears of emotion? But yet Brett Kavanaugh's face looked like it was about to fall off from the tears of foolery. It's It's amazing. So another one. The conversation about the 1619 project specifically. Because I really wanted to tweet Nicole Hannah Jones like, girl, did you ever think in your life that you would be brought up so prominently?
She tweeted about it.
Oh, did she? Okay, I
Yeah, she
missed it. I
did.
didn't
She
because
tweeted about it, and Ibram Kendi X tweeted about it.
wow,
Cause you talking about my books. She
right.
ain't writing none of my books. She ain't writing
No,
no book.
that was my thing. I was like, are they really like it was almost one of those things where it was like, oh, okay, I guess Ted, we all just know each other. We black, so we all know each other. How's she gonna know what this woman thought or felt as she was writing what she wrote? And then what I didn't like, that nobody, like, you can't call them on their lies,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when he was suggesting, as she said, I shouted the sis out in a presentation because it was a presentation about black excellence and things of that nature.
Because
I
she said she was acclaimed,
right,
and then the person who had to follow up, or the person who followed in the questioning, I think it was, I can't remember if it was Senator Hirono or not, but was like, or it might have been Cory Booker, who was like, did she win a Pulitzer Prize? It may not have been either one of them, and but whoever it was, they asked the question: Did she win a Pulitzer Prize? Yes, so she is acclaimed.
claim right,
Yes.
right. And that's it. Was when he said something about the 1619 project, where all these people have largely said it's false, it's not accurate. And then he said that something about US, something about independence basically being in 1619. Like, that's not even the premise of it. She never said that. And all these historians that you are referencing who have said that how erroneous the work is. Well, and he claims the New York Times published something. I ain't see no retractions or anything, so I don't know what they supposedly published. But what I do know is the premise is that 1776 is not relevant to Africans who came over to the Americas, because they came here and were enslaved prior to that. And that evidence of the first slave ships to come into the ports of the United States and disembark Africans happened in 1619. Now, it's like, we would really blow some of these people's mind if we
Disembarked enslaved Africans,
Africans,
because there
right?
were other
That's what
Africans
I was
who were
about to
here
say.
before them.
Yes, that's where I was going. Disembarked, and it's, yeah, I said enslaved people coming over and being disembarked in U.S. ports. We would really blow their mind if it was like, guess what? We was already here, right? Because of course the narrative is that, this, however they define Native Americans, that those are the only people that were already here. No, there were other people who were already here too. You just didn't care about none of them. Those people were Native Americans as well.
I
So
mean, there are
yeah,
reasons that there are pyramids in Aztec parts of the Americas and other southern, uh, Central American, um, you know,
countries that, yes.
countries, because
But
you
it
know,
was so infuriating because it was like, you're talking about Nicole Jones and brother, I can't. He briefed.
so again, I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. We
Yeah,
sorry. We sorry, Miss Jackson.
I am sorry that she had to in
And what she experienced, so as
experience.
you're
There you
talking,
go.
as what you're talking about is something that we often experience, and we often question, well, should we have to carry the weight of all black people? And based on how that hearing was bearing out, yeah, we do all the time, whether it's fair, whether it's just, whether it's right, we carry that weight all the time, everywhere we go, as we ascend to places and spaces that we are certainly deserving to be, but others still feel that we are not worthy to be. And so I want to do a public shout out to one Senator Cory Booker.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw this post on that was tweeted out, and it was so powerful because basically what that person said was what Cory Booker did was he publicly called out racism as well as misogyny and lifted her up. And that's what we need you to do. He did it publicly. We don't need y'all talking to us after the meeting saying, you okay? We
Right.
support you. Girl, when you were up there taking all them daggers and all those blows in that meeting because you were speaking up for what's right. Don't come to me after the meeting or in the bathroom and say, I agree with what you said. Why you didn't say it in there? Why you didn't say it in front of everybody else while I'm up in here fighting for my life on the job?
Right, because then they come in the bathroom, girl. I agree with everything you
You know, I agree
said.
with
I
everything.
know.
Bitch, you ain't agree with nothing I said because you would have said it in the meeting
But
and you would
no,
not have
then
let
they
them
go
abuse me.
no, because then they go back in, and this has happened to me personally.
Come on,
It
wait, this
have,
is
it have
happened to all of us. If you've out there and that's happened to you, where you've been in a meeting and you have expressed something, you shared an idea, you've said something, and then it gets passed over, and then somebody want to come up to you, but I really agree with you, or I really thought you were right. Well, if you really thought I was right, why didn't you say it in there?
well, I'm just saying the added insult to injury is they'll come to you and say, "Oh, I thought you, I agree with you," or "Thank you so much for speaking up," or "Oh, yes, I believe everything you say, I agree with." And then to have a white male boss come to me and say, people are coming to me saying she doesn't speak for me, and I'm like, what?
What?
I don't speak for them. Wait. And I never said I spoke for them.
Spoke
That's
for
why
'em.
I've just been,
Mhm.
I learned the lesson. Be like, be very careful. Please say, this is Christina's views, and only like, it's like I have to give disclaimers now because I've had people do that thing that, oh, I agree with you so much. They want to high five and handshake. And then apparently y'all were having some backdoor conversations because this man came to me like, well, the people are saying you don't
Mhm.
speak for them.
Speak for them.
I won't speak for them, but funny because if we were comparing notes, but in the moment you don't even think in the moment to put people on blast. That's the
Mhm.
other part. You don't. And again, as Black women, this is
You don't because you're going to be accused of being hostile. You don't
right.
because you're going to be accused of being aggressive. You don't because you're going to be accused of all of any degrees of mischief and foolery when really you're just trying to stand for what is fair, equitable, and right. And I
Well, and
saw,
then your little friend Miss Lindsay hollering at her, like talking about, well, what if we treated you? And I'm like, what do you think? What do you classify?
how you think we treated every day?
Right. And how do you classify how you're treating her in this exact moment while you're screaming, turning red in the face, acting like, and I be wanting to tell Lindsay, Miss Lindsay, Miss Lindsay, all of this is projection. All of this is projection. We and the realization that I had between Miss Lindsay, Ted Cruz, and then on any other day, the Cawthorn boy and the MGT, the MTG, whatever, Marjorie Taylor Greene. The epiphany that I had was, I said, they always hollering about somebody not being tough on crime. The only thing y'all consistently tough on is people of color. You're only consistently tough on black and brown people. You're only consistently tough on people who you've othered. And that's why I believe that Ted Cruz goes so hard in the paint. Because he know if I don't go harder than them, I'm gonna be othered too because I actually have brown skin.
Because
That's why
Raphael is his name.
Raphael, right, right. This is why Marjorie Taylor Greene goes so hard in the paint because I'm gonna be othered if I don't take the crazy up like 12 notches because I'll be othered as a white woman. Or Madison, I'll be othered as a disabled individual. And or Miss Lindsay, I'd be othered as clearly repressed and not trying to admit that I'm a part of the LGBTQ plus community. Mm-hmm. And yes, I said it. I mean, we all say it. So. And so
what's understood don't need to be said. I mean, ain't that how it go? If it's what's understood, don't need to be said. It don't need to be said. It's understood. So come on now.
Well, and there goes my chances at a political career.
And as hard as some people were questioning how she
sentenced.
Not just sentence, but how she judged these cases that were before her related to
child
pornography or cases. They were projecting too about their proclivities, obviously, because you have people who are actually in your party who have actual allegations against them of child sex trafficking.
Right.
And you ain't going hard, and you ain't even said a peep about that.
Right. Well, and again,
okay.
you confirmed someone who had multiple allegations of rape against
actually you supported someone who was the president who had multiple allegations of rape
as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
and you have judges who let other people off,
right,
for worse things.
Well, and the point that she kept making, which I didn't understand how they didn't understand that they were responsible, was she kept saying Congress has set certain criteria with which judges have to abide by. Like, yes, there is a recommendation from the prosecutor, or prosecuting attorney, but as a judge, I have to take into consideration, what probation says, what the prosecutor says, what their past record says. Oh, and by the way, Congress, you all put these things in place. And I just kept thinking, so y'all just gonna pretend y'all not responsible for the way these sentences have come down? She keeps saying Congress. Y'all have been in Congress for 12 million years. So many of you were responsible for this very legislation or these very policies that she keeps alluding to without calling y'all by name and saying, boo, how long you been up in here?
You're part of the problem. And that's what Dick Durbin said, who was the chair of this committee. And I was like, oh, child, you held it together. But, again, shout out to Cory Booker, who said, we're not letting you steal our joy.
Right. But,
we're not letting you steal our joy, because she's going to get confirmed.
Yeah.
She's going to make history. Yeah. And that's going to be the end of that.
But I really
while y'all have Clarence Thomas and his wife over here.
Well, we got to get to that in 1 second. Hold on one second. But I really do hope, what I saw happen. I just realized that they sat in a room and were like, we really have nothing on this woman. We have nothing on this woman. So we have to just create some kind of
we have to go with all the QAnon conspiracies.
Yes, we have to create some kind of hoopla. Because like Barack, she's this magical Negro who just has done no wrong in her life. And so we went all the way back to first grade. We couldn't find a thing. And so and her parents had to have the audacity, have the audacity to still be married and sitting in the audience. Right.
While
And
we
come over here and make
something
good
of
on the
themselves
American
and
dream.
dream.
Send their child off to Harvard, our esteemed Ivy League university. But I appreciated what Cory Booker said. What I didn't like is that, and I know I gotta stop reading these comments on the social media because some of these people's sentence structure is so terrible. It just should be enough. That in and of itself should disqualify them from saying anything. But still they do. And for people to call it theatrics and things of that nature, I'm like, wow. I just wanted to say, no, maybe he was showing compassion. Maybe he was just showing compassion for a Black woman who had been literally beat up on for 3 days,
Mm-hmm.
and who held it completely together, and y'all pushed and y'all pushed and y'all pushed because y'all wanted her to come out of the bag so y'all can say, see, we told you she's too emotional, she's too woke, she's an activist. And
Wow, Brett Kavanaugh, like, why are you?
right, so many facial expressions, not a tear in sight, just
Like,
face
so
just pulled
many.
up.
Not one teardrop. And
Was
never was called
legitimately
emotional, never called hysterical,
hysterical.
never said that his temperament
Yeah.
was questionable. His behavior showed that he didn't have judicial temperament.
And never questioned
Period.
his qualifications, which, again, sis went to Harvard undergrad as well as law school. So I'm guessing she at least had some A's. It's like, what do y'all not understand about the fact that Brett Kavanaugh could have gotten into Stanford, or I think that's where he went undergrad, and not necessarily have been qualified to do so. But while y'all calling for grades, let's call for grades all around then. Like, let's
Mhm.
not stop. Let's not stop at her grades.
Not even grades, LSAT scores.
Whatever. If we doing it, let's call it for all around. I want to see Amy Coney Barrett's as well. I want Amy Coney Barrett's as well. I want to see Brett Kavanaugh. And clearly, as you said, now let's talk about Jenny. Jenny. Jenny over here conspiring with the conspiracy theorists. And your best friend, that's what they say the quote is, best friend, when she
Mm-hmm.
was referring to her husband. How your husband sit on the Supreme Court? How is he supposed to show any level of impartiality? You mean to tell me y'all go home and you don't talk about none of this stuff with him? You say nothing about the January 6th, after we all witnessed and had things to say about what we all witnessed. But you said
After he
nothing.
was the lone dissenter, like, no, don't release them archives.
Right.
I
Right.
wonder why.
I wonder why he ended up in the hospital this week, because I don't believe he had no infection. I believe he was trying to
I
think
do.
about his,
I think
well,
he had that subvariant, and
he
that
got an infection
subvariant,
of his mind.
that
Child.
subvariant of Omicron, subvariant B2A, whatever, as they said, it has causes more gastrointestinal disruption than the previous versions of COVID. That's what I think happened. And at 73, he was in hospitalized because that's what I think. Now I don't know what you had, Clarence, and maybe you just had the Jenny flu and you had to get up out the house.
I think he knew the stuff was about to go down, and he was like, I gotta figure something out. I need a few days. I need a few days. And like somebody, this guy started following on Twitter saying, now watch Clarence Thomas go to work tomorrow like ain't nothing happened. You just gonna roll up in there, Clarence?
He is.
Because he has a
Because
headache
has had
or
he has had all the audacity of his mediocrity his whole life, and it got him to the highest level of his profession.
yeah.
So why not keep walking in it? Keep on walking
And
in
he
it. But
again
what
is
we know for
another
sure
example.
is that he's from the country backwoods of Georgia. And we know what his grandmother told him. Is what our grandmother told us. Rest in peace, Mama dear. What's done in the dark is gonna come to the light. So everything Jenny has done in the dark is gonna come to the light. I just hope you ready for when the light starts shining on you.
Well, like I said, again, when it seems to me when people are othered, some of them like to ratchet it all the way up because they know what happens to those who are othered. So that's how they kind of, you know,
Buffer.
Jedi mind trick the situation. What you say?
They try to buffer themselves.
Yes, and I think that's exactly what he's tried to do.
Like
And
Herschel Walker, girl. What you think about Herschel?
I still don't know what Herschel said, but apparently he doesn't know his letters. I know that
he
much.
said he said they not gonna be teaching no CTR up in the. He tired of them teaching the CTR up in the schools.
They need to teach the CTE because you got all of it. You grabbed it and just put it on your head.
But you know what's interesting, and so here's one of the links though. What I think people are underestimating in terms of what the link is to Donald Trump and Herschel Walker, because Donald Trump was one of the originators of the USFL,
Right.
the United States Football League, and Herschel Walker was the first person that they drafted. So their relationship goes back a very long way. We know Herschel has all of the self-loathing of a lot of country boys who wasn't that cute but played football well, and somebody with blonde hair and blue eyes paid them attention, and he manifests that every day.
And he has a son who is again clearly a part of the LGBTQ plus community. However,
It's going really hard in the paint
paint, yeah, going
to
again this
project.
to project this idea that I'm not gonna be other like they other others. So now this is what I gotta do. I gotta ratchet it all the way up. It's really sad and it's unfortunate. I understand where they come from, but as somebody said on Twitter, how are you asking about Ketanji Brown Jackson's qualifications and you ain't asking about Herschel Walker? Like folks act like Herschel Walker ain't out here running for a whole office.
Running for the United States Senate to be in that same place. And I just have this. I don't even know if he ever graduated from UGA. Did he ever get a degree? I don't even know. Child, I don't even know.
That's outside of my wheelhouse. All
And
I can
it
say,
and it's not even a matter.
this is what I would like to say for everybody out there in the world, because of course we reach everybody in the world.
If they like, follow, share, and subscribe, if they all like, follow, and share, we can reach everybody in the world. We just need each one to reach one. Pass it on.
That's right. That's right. I just said I really hope the day comes when whether it's running, whether it's candidates for Senate, for U.S. representatives, House of Representatives, for school board office, for sheriff, for the president of the United States. I really am wishing for the day that we get to a place where the slate of candidates is so good, we have to pick the greater of two greats instead of the lesser of two evils. I'm just waiting for that day. I'm so tired of this. Well, I guess I'll select this one because
Hmm.
no, too many people died for the right to vote. For me to get over there to the polling place and feel like, are you serious? These are my options.
These are my only option.
Uh-huh.
So look, Mr. Charles Ernest Grassley, a U.S. Senator for Iowa, who was born in September 17, 1933,
Mm-hmm. Amen. The Lord
who
has
is
kept him.
88 years old. He's seeking re-election, y'all. He got a straight decade on Joe Biden. And y'all think Joe Biden was too old, people in Iowa? And y'all gonna reelect this man again? That's the other thing. Some of y'all, because see, some of these people, if your senator from Louisiana, if you were not embarrassed by your state senator and the questions that they asked, and you knew that it wasn't right, that it was not right, it wasn't just, it wasn't fair, it was ugly, it was demeaning, degrading. If their behavior made you uncomfortable in any way, you need to ask yourself, then why are you gonna vote for them again?
Hmm. Because some of
Is
their
it just because they have an R behind their
it
name?
is. It is.
Why
And
are
you
you
know
gonna vote
what?
for them again?
It is
And
because
why
they
would
have
you
art.
vote for somebody who is 88 for another 6-year term? He's
Well,
been
I'm
in,
not gonna try to put that man out of his job if he feels like he could do something. My thing is, I don't care if
he
you're
was
80.
elected in 1980.
I don't care if you're 88 or you're 28. Have you done something?
I care. And the reason why I care is because him, and I'm an equal opportunist. Him, Nancy Pelosi,
Mm-hmm.
Maxine Waters, and others who are in their eighth decade of life. If in all this time you have not groomed a successor, and if all this time you have not had enough people who have come and worked for you in this 42-year career where you have groomed, developed, picked some other people and promoted them to opportunities where they can be in a leadership position now, then you ain't been never been about the people.
Well, no,
And that's
okay.
the fundamental problem with our national politics today. It is about power and not people.
Yeah.
It
No,
is
and I
about position and not people. And that is the fundamental issue. And so when someone like a Ketanji Brown Jackson, and again, I'm sorry, sister, I'm sorry, Miss Jackson, that you had to put up with this. But when someone like her, who um, not only has qualification, but has stellar experience, is subjected to what we saw, it's because people who are have had power and have been in power are not moving on so that the power can flow to all people. And
well,
that's a problem.
and I want to be clear when I say I don't care. That is not the right terminology. What I'm really trying to say is if you have a record of which you can stand on and be proud of, if you can show where you have been substantive to the people that you represent, then if you feel like your work is not, because listen, again, this is a conversation we have with our father all the time, right? He's like, my work ain't done yet. I still got my mind. I still want to be out there. In theory, if you still feel like you have something to contribute, I don't want to say, oh, you can't contribute because of your age, because then that does feel like ageism to me.
And I'm not saying you can't contribute because of your age, but what I am saying is that because hey, I'm getting up there too. If God willing, I'm gonna be there. But what
Mm-hmm.
I am saying is you should always, as a leader, you should always be trying to work your way out of a job, not hold on to it.
Now I can absolutely agree with that. Yes, that is the problem. There are not enough people who see
42 years? Come on, man.
there's not
You should
enough
be doing
people.
other things to build your legacy at this point.
That's right. There are not enough people who see leadership as a function of passing the baton. They don't see leadership as, like you said, as a function of succession planning. Who's coming behind you? Who can we pass the torch to? Who do we, help elevate such that they can then create sustainable change, or that we can create sustainable change. So I absolutely do agree with that. But I guess I don't know. I guess some people, they power feels really good for them,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't know how to let it go. Um, Even though it's like, do you really have power?
Hmm.
Because in the grand scheme of things, like you said, it's both sides. So I'm not even gonna pick on one side, you know,
Hmm.
while Nancy
Absolutely.
Pelosi is the, Speaker of the House, she's lost that position before,
Mm-hmm.
and she knows what it is to be in a situation where you can't get anything done.
Mm-hmm.
Mitch McConnell, the evil is eating his face away because he just keeps
You
doing
mean a neck?
just all of it, just and that top lip, the neck, and just the evil, just eating all of that up. Because you are so hell bent on doing the wrong things that even though, yeah, you have quote unquote power, I mean, it looks like you don't have a good life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if this is any indication, so that's the unfortunate piece. I mean, I guess you got power though. I
I
guess
guess.
it feels
I
good to
guess
rule
it's worth it.
your life. Yeah, I don't know. I just hope that I won't be liking to throw all my chips on Mitt Romney, but I hope that Mitt Romney or somebody says, you know what, I'm gonna do the right thing. I hope someone embodies the spirit of John McCain, who we know did not always do the right things.
No.
And again, between, you know,
Oh, she
uh,
gonna get these votes. I mean,
she's
look,
gonna
Susan
get the
Collins,
votes
Lisa
because,
Murkowski, she's gonna be confirmed and she gonna make history.
but
And
Susan and Lisa gonna do the right thing.
yeah, they are.
You
They
think?
are. Listen, listen, listen. Yeah, y'all know I just I listened to Ain't I a Woman by Bell Hooks. Y'all go ahead and pick up that Ain't I a Woman Bell Hooks. We know what y'all do. Now's not the time to do it.
That is my only
That's all I'm gonna
concern.
say.
That
We
is
know
my
what
only
y'all do.
concern. Be Do the right things at the right time, because right now,
No, do the right things all the time.
do the right things all the time. But for in their cases, let's be clear, we've already seen that they do the wrong things very often. I just, I'm like, embody the spirit of John McCain in this moment, and be all right going against your party, because and don't get me wrong, I ain't about to make you like Liz Cheney again. They're talking about that on The View, how they have some Democrats who are saying they're gonna change to Republicans so that they can vote for Liz Cheney. No, 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 I ain't saying go crazy. Like, even though
It
I
is
don't,
a strategy. It is a strategy, especially if you're in a state like we're in a state here in Florida. I think even in your state in Arizona, you you can't in the primary to change how who is actually nominated. It is a
right.
strategy to
It
change your affiliation, get somebody who is primary who has some sense,
it is
and
a
then you can change it
strategy.
back.
It is a strategy. However, and I think this is the point that I know Sonny Hostin was trying to make, and where
Mm,
I
mm,
sit
mm,
with it.
mm. Y'all, you reading these comments I'm putting them on the screen, huh?
I am not going to make you believe that you the savior. Yes, you have put up the church finger, done the right thing every now and again, Liz Cheney, for example. But let us not
Not
forget.
every now and again. She only did it because,
That's what I'm about to say.
yeah,
So for the this group of
for
Democrats,
decades.
right, and for this group of Democrats to now be like, oh yeah, we're gonna change over to Republican to vote for her in the primary in order to get her in, that feels like a lot, because I don't feel like she or her people would do that for y'all.
They wouldn't.
Yeah, that feels like a stretch for me. So I'm just like, could y'all just do the right things because it's the right thing to do at the right time? Because I don't expect you to do the right things all the time. I just don't. That's what
Mm.
I'm saying. So, okay, let me read this comment. So,
Girl,
crabs in
you
the
missed a whole bunch of
Bermuda.
comments here. And my
Replay said,
mouse
thank
is
you.
like communicating slow. It's not communicating good. So my time and the click of it is not working all good. So this is one from Lavore.
Right.
We know.
But they don't call it crabs in a bucket. They don't think it's crabs in the bucket at
No,
all.
they don't. We pray
It's
they get it right.
it's Monday or Sunday. It's like,
That part. Every day of the week. So
yeah.
again, we sorry, Miss Jackson, and we're sorry because we've all, at least these two of us, me and sister, we've been there.
Yeah. No, I think
We've been there.
maybe Candace Owens hasn't, but the rest of us, maybe Stacey Dash hasn't, but the rest of us, which I don't know what I feel like Stacey Dash. Somebody just had to cuss her out for something just the other day, and I don't know why. I hadn't looked
We
into
have all been there. Even those who don't recognize that they have been there, or
it.
those who choose to ignore that they've been there, or who choose to think that I have arrived.
Yes.
And so, since I have arrived, I can leave the rest of you behind. Even they too have been there, where their character has been besmirched,
Mm-hmm.
their credentials and qualifications have been questioned, where they have been subjected to subtle and not so subtle attacks. We
Mm-hmm.
saw it, Miss Jackson. But I will say
We
this,
saw it.
sister,
Yes.
like my boy Corey said, I ain't gonna let y'all not gonna steal my joy on this because baby, if they had an inauguration for when she get when she get confirmed, y'all know we all flying up there. If they have an inauguration, we all going, right? Is we going? Are we going?
Yeah, we gotta put on
That's
a
what I need
dress.
to find out. When is the party happening? Because we gonna be there just so you know that we got you.
Well, listen.
And we need to keep doing more of that just to let each other know. Even though I might not agree with you sometimes. And Corey said it best. He said sometimes Kamala and I would just look at each other with a knowing glance. Y'all know what that look is. You know what that look is, sister.
So
You'd have
yes.
been in the meeting and been like,
you
looked at your boy. I know who you know. I'd have
know.
been in meetings, looked at, mm, y'all know
But
what
you
I'm
see,
talking
the
about.
thing about it was Corey, and he was being so honest, and he was having that moment. But I almost want to be like, Corey, don't be telling them all the secrets. They don't got to know all the
Yeah,
stuff.
don't tell them all our secrets. Keep some of the
Keep
gems to
some of it.
yourself.
Golly. Now,
Well, you
every
know
time
he
we look at each other, they're going to be like, what they looking at each
look at
other for?
that. You know, but he even tried to be inclusive in it because even Tim Scott knows. He was like Tim no.
Baby,
Tim
I
did
don't
it.
know how Tim is keeping it together. I don't know what it takes. Cause like you're saying, like Corey was like, don't we're not letting them steal my joy. They steal my joy and I don't even be in a room with them. I'm like, yeah, y'all have driven me crazy today. And I be trying not to drink because I'm trying to lose a few pounds. I don't know how he do it. I don't know how he don't be wanting to punch Ted Cruz in the throat.
Listen, I know some people who
Or
work
that
right
Josh
now.
Hawley.
I know some people right now who in Florida who work with the scientists, and we be wondering the same thing.
Yeah, because I would have caught a charge with him already. I already know that.
I've done knowing glance other black folks that I haven't met just because, just cause. Like we know what the head nod
Oh
is.
yeah, I
We
do the
know.
obligatory head nod every time I see him. Unless no.
Yeah,
Unless
hello.
they don't look like they grew up in that kind of environment.
Yeah, because you know some of them you give them that look and then you be like, oh, they don't know,
They don't know. You
they didn't
like,
know, they don't know, they ain't get it, yes, they ain't
where
get
were
it.
you raised?
Look, it's inclusive, Tim, inclusivity. Yes, Tim and Ginger, exactly. He referenced others, right? He used quotes of others.
Yeah.
like we said, he in effect he called out racism, he called out misogyny publicly, and he said, y'all ain't gonna do this to us. And he supported her at the same time. All the rest of y'all need to do that in public too. Uh-huh. hmm Sometimes it's just and she gave that look every now and then. She was like,
I
and then
when
she and she would look, and we all were looking through the TV. We were like, girl,
like I said, with that Ted
child.
Cruz, that was one particular time where that
So so
side was
so
so.
so Judge, do you think babies are racist?
And this is okay. So, like I was playing the game earlier, if she
Caught in the
would have been
Matrix.
like, if she would have been like, absolutely, because once they pass through that vagina of the racist, they get that juice all on racist. Like if she had said something like that, like, because that's almost what you want her to be able to say.
All right, so now we're gonna play the game. I want all of y'all to type at least one answer of what you wish she would have
She would
said.
have said,
What you wish she would have said. And Rosalind said though, and the way she said senator at times.
yes, it was,
Senator,
it was.
thank you for asking that question.
Yes, yes, Ted, please.
Okay, I like that one.
Raphael, please.
Yeah, Raphael Cruz.
And then he goes
Yeah,
try to set it
the
up.
people in Cancun are waiting for you.
Right, he gonna try to set it up all like, because we went to school together. We didn't really know each other, but we were both on the. I'd have been like,
Stop it, bro. Right there. Stop it, bro.
I've been
I
like,
don't
God,
even know.
I don't really remember
Because I
you at
had
all.
just been in class with you when I was walking, and that woman had to look over at me, who she didn't even know me. That black woman who didn't even know me just saw my face because I was walking around Harvard and looked at me and said, leaned over and said, persevere, because I had just came out of class with your ass.
Well, and then what was killing also, because that, right. That's how that was Senator.
Mm-hmm.
Senator. um, the sister in California, I don't remember her name. She's a representative, I believe. She pulls out her stuff, right?
Katie, what's her name? Katie. I know who you're talking about, the representative who always
Yeah,
like, I'm gonna do the math.
right. She has her visual.
Five
I
plus
was
five.
like, you don't even, your visuals ain't even effective. So you sat up there to write all these percentages down and to say what after the people then came right behind you and said it. So was any of her sentencing like out of alignment with all the other judges? And then I was like, bruh,
Hold on, let me give you Marcia. Well, the Constitution says that we have the right. Noble, that's the Declaration of Independence. That ain't
what
what the
we had the
Constitution.
right to what? Please tell me.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
No, that is not what
That's
it
when you do applies big.
says.
That ain't the Constitution. That's the Declaration of
The
Independence. Wait a minute.
Constitution is we the
Hey,
people.
we can't change the Constitution. Man, what you think all these amendments are for? What you talking about? It's been changed many
Did,
times before. Man,
you're right.
you know the process of changing. You got to get this many states to
Votes.
ratify it,
Yeah.
and then it goes before. Like, man, there's a process, and y'all up in here asking me some damn questions. Go sit down. That's what I wish you
Yeah.
would have said. Go sit down.
Yeah. I mean, it was the mediocre white man on full display. And it really felt like, but this is what we have to deal with in all of our jobs. But what I will say, if there was any bright light, I did see a brother post, and he might have been one, but he said, you know what? Even we don't have it this hard.
Yes.
And that's what I can respect. Yeah, brothers, we've been telling y'all it's a shit show out here when we got it, when we are up for a promotion, up for a job, up for just in the meeting and trying to talk and not have somebody talk over. Like, we have to deal with this level of
a whole nother level
stuff. And and like I said, when that sister was signed at some points, I just was like, she is better than me because she was perfect. She sighed so deeply. She let it be uncomfortable. Like she let the silence be uncomfortable. And she got to the answer as she wanted to get to it. I probably would have been having some outburst. You know how we like, even Dr. Fauci ended up doing it one day when he had to call that man, cuss him out, and call him out of his name. Because I'd have been to forgot the mic was.
Dr. Fauci had to say, Senator, you wrong. He said, and then he was on the hot mic.
Mike,
idiot. Like, you don't know what you talking about.
Right.
Poor Dr. Fauci. And again, he's in his 80s, but I want somebody else to be groomed to be over these National Institutes of Health, Dr. Fauci. And you can serve as a consultant. I'm not saying you got to retire all the way, but we need some other scientists to be brought up and lifted up. Anyway.
Yes, well,
I just want to shout out
Jackson.
We sorry, Miss Jackson, but poise, style, grace, once again, Black women, we have it in spades. And so congratulations to all the sisters out there. We earned this. We are worthy. And regardless on how she might judge some of the decisions that she's going to, and opinions she's going to have, we might not agree with. But we know that she deserves to be there. We know that she deserves to be there. And I'm grateful that she's going to be there. So while we're sorry, Miss Jackson, we are happy too.
Yes, because in our lifetimes, we can say we witnessed the election of the first Black president who was claiming Blackness. Because you know some of them other ones was Black, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
We ain't gonna talk about Abraham. I ain't gonna talk about Lincoln.
we have seen for the first time a Black woman, HBCU graduate, become vice president of the United States, member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and now we are going to see the first Black woman who becomes a justice on the Supreme Court of the highest court of this nation. And for that, I am grateful. They are going to make it more and more challenging because we're just great at everything. We're freaking great at everything. But we are going to still be great because it's in our DNA. We have no choice.
It's in our DNA. Because we are here and we know what our DNA had to endure, that epigenetics is real. That's why we're going to continue to thrive, strive, and be alive, even though they keep trying to kill us. And that's all I got for tonight's episode of Hey Sister. So what we want y'all to do is continue to join and watch us rise up. We see your comment about East Enterprise would have came out. Church Street might have came out a little bit.
Oh yeah, I would have been all John Curtis. It would have been all John Curtis over here. So much.
So I would have. It'd have been. I'm gonna see you out. I'm gonna see you outside in the hall. I'm gonna see you.
Right.
You. But the most beautiful thing though is seeing her daughter look at her mom with so much pride.
Yes.
And those beautiful multiracial babies are gonna change this whole landscape. So y'all keep trying to do what y'all gonna do. It don't matter because it won't last. It won't last.
You trying to say Clarence and Jenny don't got no children?
I don't know who Clarence and Jenny children are, but I'm gonna tell you about what Clarence and Jenny.
Cause you just skipped all over. They live multiracial. I don't know if they have them. I really don't.
They do. I don't know where they at or what they have to say, but they should be of a certain age now where they should be ashamed of their parents and they should be able to speak about it. How about that?
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, it look like
you should be ashamed of your parents and you should speak on it. Some people, it's time for some people to then, I love you, but I gotta call you out on your BS.
Yeah.
Period. So, and that's really how we get better, is lovingly calling each other out on our stuff and challenging each other to be better. So let's keep doing that. Let's keep doing that. Hey, sister family. Like, follow, share, subscribe, share this with someone, share with a friend. And if it's Sunday at 8 p.m. on the East Coast, it's time for Hey Sister. So with that, we signing off for the night. Mwah. We love y'all.
Yes.
And um come on, all the Will and Anjanou and all of you. We hope you win tonight for the Oscars. Bye everybody.
Bye bye.